Hey fellas, it's your boy Moto Rich. I'm coming at you with a new video. I've had a couple questions about clutchless shifting. Some people are asking me how it's that I'm talking and I usually talk with my hands, but then I'm shifting up and down at the same time. So inside of your engine are wheel cogs. And wheel cogs are, pretend this is like a circle. Gears are different sizes and they kind of mesh together. Okay? So what happens is when the engine is under a load or accelerating, it has tension on the gears. So this gear is pushing down on this gear, and there's some resistance, which would be the weight of the rider, the bike, and everything under acceleration. So that resistance creates so that the gears can't move side to side, which would inhibit shifting. So what you're trying to do is you're creating less tension, so you want those gears to kind of separate a little bit, for lack of a better way of saying it. When you are accelerating and you let off the throttle, that relieves the tension between the gears for just a second, and you're able to pull the bike out of gear and into the next gear. And it works the same way with going down. You gently put your foot on top of the shifter, give a little bit of pressure, and as you roll off of the throttle for a second, you're able to push it down into the next gear. Now, clutchless shifting is relatively easy for the most part, but you don't want to be pulling up on the gear or pushing down on the shifter with a lot of force. That can cause you to bend gears or the shift fork, grind gears. You don't want to do anything forcefully. It should just go right into the next gear. If it doesn't just go into the next gear, then that means that you're not doing it right, or that there's some sort of issue with inside of the gearbox or transmission. So you can take off in first gear. You'll have to use your clutch. Once you're moving, let off the gas a little bit and pull up into the next gear. Makes it easy for shifting. You don't have a whole lot of left hand movement with your clutch. You don't wear your hand out or anything like that. And it eliminates that extra movement, so it can actually create like a faster shift. And normally I don't typically downshift without a clutch. Usually when I'm downshifting, it's because I'm coming to a stop or I need to pull the clutch in. So because I don't normally slow down without really using the clutch or plan on coming to a stop, then typically I use my clutch just in case. I typically, even when my hand's resting on the clutch side, I don't really use the clutch when I'm shifting up. It's just easier just to let off the gas a little bit and pull up into the next gear. You're gonna have to let off the gas anyways. So going down is the same thing. Right now I'm in 6th gear, no clutch. You kind of gently press on the shifter. I'm not really putting any tension on it at all, just my foot's there, and then I roll off of the throttle and push down at the same time, and it just drops it down 1 gear. I can do it as many times as I really want, but you have to keep in mind that going down, because you're not rev matching, that the wheel will drag and it will kind of upset the bike a little bit, so you'll kind of lurch forward a little bit. It's usually not anything drastic, as long as you're not doing it at a real high RPM. I wouldn't suggest downshifting like that from a real high RPM. Usually it's when you're slowing down and you're using your hand for something, and that's typically not an issue. But I like to slow down and rev match anyways. So the downshifting without a clutch isn't typically something that I do, but it is something that the bike is capable of doing. Going out, practice a couple shifts going up and down the street. It's real easy to do. It's nothing real difficult. It's very basic, and the first time that you really do it, you'll get a feel for it. I enjoy doing it. 1, it's less effort. 2, when you're using your clutch, you're actually wearing out the clutch springs. You're disengaging the clutch and you're re-engaging the clutch at a different RPM slightly, but all that adds additional wear to your clutch plates and your friction discs. It's actually less wear on the clutch and the springs and your cable if you just leave the clutch engaged and you're able to shift through the gears without actually using or pulling the clutch lever and engaging everything. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss today, was just being able to shift the bike without using the clutch, and the benefits and downfalls. I can't say, like I stated before, that shifting between first and second without using the clutch can sometimes be really jarring, especially in the higher RPM. So if you plan on doing that, I would do it at the lower RPMs where it doesn't make as much of a difference. I'm a little worried about my lower camera mount here. It's against a really hot motor, which would lead me to believe that it would be easy to fall off. But I didn't have a way of getting my camera down there to be able to watch my foot as I'm shifting through these gears. So I didn't want to go up on the interstate and have a whole lot of high winds against the camera, knock it off, and I have to go pick it up off the road. So I'm actually headed out to see my guys over here at Professional Rim Repair. The owner, Chris, is a good friend of mine. He's going to take a look at painting this bike for me, and which will be one of the small rebuilds that I'll be doing. I'll be pulling the plastics off of this, and I'll be welding this little spot up here with a cheap method of welding, and then I'll be taking it to Chris, and he's going to paint them all for me. Probably a gloss black, or maybe even this matte gray finish here. Kind of like this matte gray, so I might have him go back with that, and then I'll print some black decals to put all over the bike. Maybe a couple pieces will be in black. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe a matte black with a matte gray. I think it'll look really nice. Hey, why don't we just leave it in the comments? Do you think I should go with a gloss black on this bike? A matte black? Matte gray like what the tank is here? What kind of paint job do you think I should have on this bike? Looking to something, oh shit. Well, that wasn't fun. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Whew. At least I was able to recover it, I guess. Okay. Alright, so I'm almost here at Professional Rim Repair. I talked to the owner here about possibly painting my bike and giving her a new look. If I do a matte gray, it'll be mostly matte gray, and if I do it all black, of course it'll be all matte black. Of course, if I do all that, I'm gonna have to change my levers. Let's see if he's in the back. Look at that Porsche. Couple Porsches back here.
What you up to?
Not much. There he is.
See Willie.
Did it come up? Did it come up?
Did it come up? Ah, you see that shit?
How's it going, buddy? You look dirty. You here working?
And such.
So how slow is this thing?
I mean, it's 600. It's about that slow.
It is.
So I think I'm gonna see about you painting this one.
Okay. Painting it.
Yeah.
What do you want to paint it?
I'm thinking it might go back with the matte gray. That match the tank.
Got 3 colors on it right now.
It's got a lot of colors on it.
Color. I mean, I like that color, to be honest with you.